Welcome. I invite you to come over to the Insight Timer app. This is where we always have our live stream where we can interact. So if you're not on Insight Timer, come join us there. Welcome. Hi, Liz. Hi, Anami. Hi, Sunita. Welcome, friends. Looks like the connection's a little slow, so I don't see anything coming through yet, but hopefully you can hear me okay. Wonderful to be together. There we go. Hi, Richard. Wonderful. How's our sound while we're waiting a few moments? Can you hear me clearly? Yeah, we definitely have a delay. Oh, hi, Marcy. Okay, great. Wonderful. Thanks, friends. And as a reminder, if you are not on Insight Timer, come on over to Insight Timer. Thank you all. Thank you all. Well, welcome. Welcome. My name is Selena Lael, and we are having these really sweet, nourishing sessions for at least the next couple of weeks. Satsang for the soul. This invitation to be together in community in a space of upliftment, nourishment, self awareness, connection with ourselves, connection with each other, self inquiry. This beautiful space to be together. And for anyone who's newer to our time together, we have a group called Love Heals All. We also have, well, that's the only thing we have together. Love Heals All is the group. And I've just scheduled some group meditations there if you didn't see. So, opportunities for us to meditate together. What else? I have many recordings and a 10-day course, Yogic Practices for a Peaceful Life. And I also lead yoga asana sessions. Asanas are the term for the postures, which many of us know as yoga. So those sessions also happen each week. Hi, Monica. So, thank you all for being here. I'm a little under the weather, so my brain is not working very clearly today, but I didn't want to cancel an opportunity to spend some time together. So, here we are together. Let's just take a moment to mentally arrive here. If you're doing anything else, I invite you to stop what you're doing. And of course, if you're driving, keep your eyes open. But if you can, close your eyes. Start to deepen your breath. Soften your lips, your jaw, your face. As you breathe in, feel your breath is moving all the way down into your belly. So there's this expansion in the belly, this expansion through the rib cage. And as you breathe out, invite you to exhale through the mouth, let out some sound, and just sigh it out, just letting go. Inhale slowly and deeply. Feel this expansion through the belly and the chest. Exhale, let out a sigh. One more breath like this. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. You can open the eyes if they're closed. So, again, welcome to everyone. My name is Selena Lael. Thank you for your presence, for being here today. Come join us in our group, Love Heals All, if you wish. And if you're not an Insight Timer, come on over to Insight Timer. So, in our last session together of this nature, we read from Her Holiness Saima's book, Petals of Grace. And we had this lovely introspection on peace and what it feels like to really welcome and awaken peace in our lives. And I actually did record an excerpt, the one that we read. So you can find that under my tracks here on my profile page, this piece from the book on peace. And today we're going to read another piece, one that I find is so, so, so important. Oh, thanks, Anami. I'm so grateful for all of us together that make this beautiful community. So I'm going to go grab the book and we're going to deepen with our awareness into another topic today from the book. So I'll be right back. And if you like, have a journal, pen, pencil, something where you can take notes if there's something that comes up for you. I brought a whole treasure trove from my puja. All right. So we will again just take a little time to read or to listen. I'll read, you listen. Go ahead and find a comfortable position. You may wish to just have some pillows behind you to prop you up if that's most comfortable. Just allow your body to be relaxed so that the mind can be more receptive. Let's see, what year did this book come out? The first printing of this book, I'm not clear. I'm not sure if it's 2000. Oh, yeah, 2005 is when this book was first published. So, how many years ago is that? 17? So, I've been reading this book for 17 years. And I still find that my mind receives the wisdom in different ways, or maybe the phase of my life that I'm in, I hear something differently and I'm able to apply something differently to my life. And this chapter is one that I still read and I'm like, ooh, this is so good. Hi, Sunshine. Hi, Jen. Yeah, go ahead and say hi, my friends. That's part of being in community. Actually, because this is a satsang, let's do something that we haven't. I don't know if we've ever really done this because there are usually so many of us, but we don't have that many in our session right now. So this is a perfect time to do it. So go ahead and share in the chat. I guess we can already see your name. So just in a couple of words, right? We have a lot of participants here, so we want to make it as concise as possible. So just in a couple of words. What is something that you're grateful to yourself for today? You might just write like one word, like heart or peace. It doesn't have to be the full explanation, but just in a couple of words, literally a couple, maybe three. Go ahead and share in the chat something that you are grateful to yourself for. And something I'm grateful to myself for today. I'll share at the end because your comments already come in. Patty shares being resilient. Angie shares going for a walk. Monica shares peace and health. I just feel this, how nice this is. Not only to experience others' appreciation of themselves, but how we might appreciate ourselves for these same things. Shirley shares resilience. Liz shares recovery. Sunita shares being calm. Siska, spending time for friendship, sunshine, hope, and courage. Lovely. DJ, self-care. Thanks, friends. Richard, deep breathing. Is that you with snorkel gear on? Looks like you're deep breathing there too. If that's what I'm seeing here. It may not be at all what I'm seeing. Yes, it is. Like beautiful. Jen, getting some meditations in today. Lovely. Thank you, everyone. Pauline, learning so much from IT teachers. Camila, the sunshine and ocean and beauty I see right now. Beautiful. So if you are just joining, we're all just sharing in a couple of words something we're grateful to ourselves for today. Lisa, singing and nature. Beautiful. Thanks everyone for sharing. Isn't it nice to just feel each other a little bit, right? I know some of you are more comfortable checking in with each other in the chat, but it's so nice when we can just experience like, oh wow, we're all here together having this shared experience. And it's so nice to appreciate ourselves. Beautiful. Thank you. Something I'm grateful to myself for today is being gentle with myself. Being gentle. All right. Are you ready for the drum roll for this chapter that's going to blow your mind? Maybe, maybe not. It's blown my mind. We won't read the whole thing, but we'll read a part of it. Beautiful, enemy. Okay. So find your comfortable seated position. Open your mind, open your heart. Allow in what resonates, leave the rest behind. The truth of relationships, the limitations of fear and need. Most of the time you move into ready? Are you ready? Are you really open? Are you with me, my loves? Are you really ready? Because this is it. Let's take a breath together. Open your mind, open your heart. Okay, great. All right, here we go. Most of the time, you move into a relationship because you are lonely, or perhaps you are afraid of being by yourself. Also, sometimes out of depression, boredom, or physical need, you choose a relationship. How is it possible for a relationship to be harmonious if these are the main reasons the relationship exists? Many of you carry the fear of your old relationship into your new relationship. By this, I mean that many of you have come out of a relationship because your partner has found another and you have been hurt and you are angry. When your next relationship comes, you feel, I hope he doesn't leave me. I hope she doesn't leave me. I hope they don't leave me. Oh my God, I don't want to suffer like last time. You're bringing the past into the now moment. Then you cannot be in the now anymore. You cannot be fresh in this new relationship. In every relationship where there is fear, know that you are not free. Do you understand this? Do not move into a relationship with these old patterns. When you start wishing for a relationship, ask yourself, for what reason am I longing or looking for a relationship? There are many purposes for a relationship, many purposes. Ask yourself, am I moving into this relationship for a purpose? If so, What is the purpose of this relationship? And just, I invite you to consider that for a moment, please. This book is Petals of Grace by Her Holiness Saima Lakshmi Devi Mishra. Petals of Grace. You need to realize that each relationship is sacred. Each relationship is new. Each is divine and unique. And you need to remember to share in your relationship. You may think that you don't have any needs, but think about this. Look carefully. Within each of you, on each side of the relationship, there is an emptiness that is longing, searching to be filled. And that's not the truth of a relationship. You say to the other person, I love you. But what are you really saying? What conditions are you placing on this relationship? What are your expectations? Is this relationship fresh? Is it spontaneous? Are you canceling all the freedom and creating expectations with your needs? Are you canceling all the right reasons and activating all of the wrong ones? So we're just going to pause there for a moment. I do want to continue a little bit more today, but let's just pause there for a moment. How many of you here desire a relationship? You might be in one, you might not be in one, but just drop an emoji. You don't need to give any longer share. Just an emoji in the chat if you desire a relationship. I'll drop an emoji in the chat. I'm in that I'm not like longing for it, but I'm open to it. A little different, yeah. And remember, just drop something in the chat if an emoji if you are wanting a relationship. And again, you might be in a relationship, but you find yourself longing for a different relationship. You also fall into this emoji category. And it's okay if you don't drop an emoji. You know who you are, right? Thanks for sharing, friends. So I really invite you to consider this. From what place inside of you, kind of maybe, right? From what place inside of you are you desiring a relationship? And it's not like it's black and white, like it's only this and right? But really be honest with yourself. Be genuinely curious. And you may want to make a little note in your journal or your pen and paper if you grabbed some to write more on this later. Do you desire this relationship because you want to share physical intimacy and comfort with someone? Do you desire this relationship because you want to feel loved? Do you desire this relationship because you feel lonely when you're not with someone? Do you desire this relationship because you feel like another person brings out the best in you? Thank you, Shirley. Yes, romantic relationship. For the sake of this, we're speaking about a romantic relationship. Thank you for asking that question. So, if you are desiring a romantic relationship with someone else, start to be curious. For what reason do I desire this relationship? And again, there may be many reasons, right? But recognize if the core reasons are coming from a place of fullness and self love or joy or the joy of sharing with someone or the beauty of sharing with someone, or are they coming from a place of feeling like there's something wrong, missing, lacking? And this isn't for us to beat ourselves up like, oh no, I'm definitely wanting a relationship because I feel lonely or bored. We're not here to beat ourselves up. It's awareness. Because whatever energy is within us is what we bring to that relationship. That's beautiful, Monica. Monica shared, I have so much to share with someone. Beautiful. And then you can ask yourself, though, this is where we can go deeper, right? Whenever we have self inquiry, we can always go deeper and deeper. And sometimes we do arrive at our complete answer, and sometimes there's more underneath. Yeah. So, for example, Monica, you could say, okay, I have so much to share with someone. I wish to share so much with someone. And then you could also say, how much of my desire to share with someone is rooted in my need for approval or to feel seen or to feel met in what I have to share, right? And I'm not saying this is you, but I'm saying for any of us that have these kind of thoughts, we can always have deeper inquiry. Curiosity, yeah. I see Anami is sharing. For me, I'd say the former in a sea of the latter. Forgive me, my love, Maya, because the body's under the weather. I don't even remember what the former or the latter were. Sunshine sharing. I have so much to work through for my next relationship. Yeah, and many of us do, right? And we can also recognize with compassion that none of us are perfect going into a relationship. Um, and relationships are the number one place. And this comes to all relationships, not just romantic relationships, but relationships are the number one place where we really work out our stuff because we really see our stuff in the mirror of the other person. So we're always going to be evolving and growing and doing our work. And some relationships feel really easy. And then, other relationships just trigger all of our stuff. So we might even think that we've done so much of our work. And then we meet someone who just triggers the crap out of us or who we get super triggered by, right? So there's so many ways this can look, and we can have compassion for ourselves. And again, these teachings for me are not about beating ourselves up or feeling that we're supposed to be in some perfect space of relating or spirituality or any of this. These are all opportunities for us to be more aware so that we can choose more consciously and meet ourselves and also others with more awareness. And the title of this book, the subtitle is Essential Teachings for Self-Mastery. It's not about beating ourselves up. It's about becoming aware so we can become the masters, more and more the masters that we are. We are already masters, and we become more aware as we awaken into that. I see Angie sharing, still need to love me some more first. Beautiful. Beautiful. I remember many years ago, I'll give a little side story here. And this is a satsang, my friends. So if you have something, if you have a question, or if you have a share that this reading is bringing up, feel free to share it in the chat. Um, so some of you have heard me speak about this a little bit when we've had self-love talks or comments. Um, so much of my life, one of the primary fixations of the mind was the one, having this epic relationship with, the love of my life or the person I was meant to be with. And the mind was just constantly looking for someone to be with. Just, I mean, it was like, like this obsession almost. Like I would meet someone randomly on the street and my mind would go, is this the one? It was just always there. And there was always that feeling of wanting a relationship, feeling like something would be better with a relationship. Um, what are the things that we feel? Something would be better. I would get to feel more love. I would enjoy my life more. It would be sweeter. We could all share all of our different reasonings why many of us end up longing for a relationship. So, this is much of my life experience, looking for relationships, desiring relationships, feeling like my life would be better with relationships. And there was a point, probably not long after I started studying with Saima, maybe about 15 years ago or so, 5 years after starting learning with Ma. And I just started to have this awareness. I want to be so full in myself that I don't have a longing for a relationship anymore. And it seemed like a very lofty goal at the time, but I just knew it. I didn't know if it would ever even be possible because I was so used to all of these years of this fixation on relationship, but I had that feeling. All right, my intention for myself is to be so full in myself, so in love in myself that I don't have this ache and longing for a relationship anymore. And like I said, it's been probably 15 years. But in the last few years, I've had some really big shifts, and that longing isn't there anymore. Now, there may be a conscious desire to have partnership at times, but there isn't a longing from a feeling of lack or emptiness within me. So I think part of the reason I'm sharing that is for anyone who can relate to that experience of just feeling that longing for relationship. I know, especially now, many people get really fixated on a soulmate or their twin flame, and there's just this romanticizing that having a soulmate or a twin flame relationship will just make your life the epic love story you want it to be. But our epic love story is here, in my humble opinion. Our epic love story is not with a relationship outside of ourselves, but with our own beloved self. So if you can relate to what I shared, I am here as, I don't know about a poster child, but as living proof that it is possible. And it's been, my dedication to myself and to my soul and this intention to be so full within myself that I'm not looking for another person to fill me because it never works. Never works. So I'm going to come back and read some of your comments, and then we're going to read a little more from this chapter, and then we'll see how much time we have left to maybe do some journaling um, or just a little more sharing. Now, Anami is sharing something very interesting. Thank you, my love, for always being so vulnerable, because when we're vulnerable, it gives us an opportunity to go deeper in the work. Anami is sharing, rather, a majority of those I've encountered being in the ladder of seeking from emptiness. So, what I hear you saying, my love, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I hear you saying that you feel more full, but you're attracting people who feel, who are seeking relationship from emptiness. Now, here is where it gets really interesting because people are our mirrors. I remember I did this exercise once. I was in a relationship that was just, oof, triggered me. It was so not what I wanted it anyway. I was still in it. And I was so angry and I felt righteous and I felt like, really just like a sense of, yeah, a sense of righteousness, like for all the ways that I was not being met and cared for and seen. And I was just pissed off. And I did this exercise because I knew that this exercise existed, or maybe I kind of created it from teachings I'd heard. And got out my journal. Feel free to take a note and do this for yourself. And I wrote down all the things I was really pissed off about. He does this. He doesn't do that. He did that. He did this. Just da, da, da. He's always like this. I wrote all the things down. I think I had like at least a good 15 things on that list at the time. And I really didn't want to, trust me. But I rewrote every sentence and said, I do this. I do that. I did this before. I'm doing that. And although not every sentence was a total matchup, meaning I wasn't exactly doing the things that I was blaming or judging him for, every single one of them was absolutely a mirror for me to see myself. So it's very interesting because we not might, I would say we all see ourselves a certain way and we all have blind spots. Every single one of us has an image of ourselves, and all of us know the experience of somebody saying, "You're like this." And we're like, "No, I'm not." And then maybe down the line, a little later in life, you realize, "Oh, crap, I was like that." Whew. So if I find myself in relationships with people who feel an emptiness or a lack inside, or people that I keep attracting or have that lack or emptiness inside, what I would do if that was me, I'm not saying you should, I'm just telling you what I would do, is I would say, all right, where is there still a feeling of lack and emptiness inside of me that is attracting people who are showing me myself, showing me this experience within myself? And again, may not be for you, but that's what I would do. And for each of us, we can apply this. It's just great for self inquiry. You may not always find some answer that makes the most sense, but it's great for just being curious with ourselves. All right, I feel like this person's always like this, and I'm definitely not like that. Where can I have some inquiry to see how I might actually be a little more similar to something happening in the situation that I'm able to see? All right, here we go. I'm really going back in the comments now. And let's see. Uh, Auntie is sharing about being in a relationship and how uh, having a mirror is difficult. It's not easy. Yeah, and different relationships present us with different opportunities for growth, but each of them are a mirror. The sunshine is saying, I can relate to that. Till my last relationship and my freedom was more important. And after so much to work through. Oh, wow. I'm sorry, my friends. My brain is really full of cotton candy being under the weather, and I can't remember what I said like 2 seconds ago. So I'll just read the comments and feel free to come back and share something else if I am just not catching something at all. Uh, Angie shared, felt like that in the past, but I've lived alone 19 months now and don't have that urge need now that my relationship with myself is better. Beautiful. That's it. I want to like ring the bell and applaud you. Beautiful. That's exactly what happened for me. I I at this point I haven't been in a relationship for about 5 years, but when this work really started to anchor in my being, I hadn't been in a relationship for at least a year or two. And I was spending much more time by myself and I started engaging with all of these beautiful self-love and self-care techniques that were actually really nourishing my relationship with my soul. And I just had this huge transformation in my life where I didn't wake up lonely anymore. I didn't wake up heavy anymore. I didn't wake up depressed anymore. I woke up with my heart full, feeling like I was in this divine romance with my soul. It was just one of the most rich, beautiful periods of my life to have that shift. So thank you for sharing that. What a lovely thing to share. And it's not, some of you might be saying, well, I'm not finding it that easy. I'm not saying that it's easy and it may not happen the same way for each of us, but I definitely feel without a doubt that the more time we spend caring for ourselves, being with ourselves, and consciously engaging in techniques that nourish our relationship with ourselves, it definitely shifts our experience of self doubt, a lack of self confidence, insecurity, a feeling of emptiness or loneliness. I mean, loneliness was one of the most prevalent feelings I had known throughout my entire life. And I rarely ever experience it now. I mean, it was always with me, but now that my relationship with my soul, you could say, is so established and so nurtured every single day through my thoughts, words, and actions, I don't feel that anymore. And it's not because I'm special. This is available to each and every one of us. Okay, going back. Marcy's sharing, I always told my high school students only be in a relationship if you bring out the best in each other. I feel the same way. I used to think we had one soulmate. Oop, sorry, your comment slipped away. Definitely more than one in many forms, but I've been lucky to have romantic soulmates. My ex from 16 to 19 had complete spiritual connection, had other versions throughout life. Yeah, beautiful. I remember my mom taught me that when I was very young. I was probably like 9 or 10, maybe a little older, I don't know. But I was already heartbroken over something, right? I must have been a little older because I don't think I was professing love for people that young, but maybe I could have been. My mom said, My sweetheart, you will have many soulmates in your life, many soulmates, beautiful souls that you have a deep connection with, that you feel deep love for. It's okay. It's okay to grieve and just know you will have more beautiful connections in your life. Beautiful. And Monica shared, I can relate. I'm open to a relationship, but not longing. I'm so happy now. Beautiful. And for anyone who's here that's maybe feeling just contracted around this, like, oh, but I do feel this longing. I do feel this pain. I do feel this loneliness. This is part of the beauty of us coming together in community. It's not to judge yourself for where you are or to feel that you're doing something wrong. It's the awareness that other experiences are possible. And that's part of why we have all these techniques and tools that we explore together in our live sessions and in all of the recorded meditations that I have so that we can cultivate this more loving relationship with ourselves. Um, Yeah, Anami is sharing, though with respect to online dating, many of those trying for relationships seem to be doing so from out of emptiness. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's definitely the case. And I even noticed that in myself. I was getting on apps again, just kind of putting myself out there, seeing what was available. And I recognized that it started to become an unconscious habit, like a swiping or just kind of getting on there in free time habit. And that in those moments, it was coming from like something feeling like it was missing. Maybe I felt a little bored in my day, or I was a little tired, or I wanted to have connection with someone. And I found myself kind of habitually in that energy getting on the dating apps. And I was like, oh, this is not the energy I'm creating anything from. And I'm okay not being in a relationship. So I'm going to stop this habit. See, that's also one of the powerful things about profound shifts. Even though we have a profound shift in life, there may be, and quite often are, lingering patterns. So even though for years now I've been in this new established place of self love within me, uh, I can fall back into old patterns if I'm not aware. If I just let myself start doing something for the sake of doing it, habit, I can find myself in some way of being that maybe doesn't even reflect this huge transformation I've had. I won't stay there, but it's possible. So we can also be aware of our patterns and habits. Yes. Yes, Shirley. I find that if I am handing out advice, it is advice I need. Yeah. Yeah. I'm enjoying reading your comments. Thank you. Thank you, Anami. Ah, yes. Thank you, Sunshine, for clarifying for me. Hmm. Lainey, after hard times, I've learned that I will always be there for myself. At first, uh, I thought it was just an idea, but it's a deeply comforting practice. That's beautiful. Yeah. And many things do start just as a thought. Many things do start just as an idea. But the more we engage in that way of being, thinking, or feeling, the more it does become something that becomes very real. Mel is sharing, my daughter is my soulmate. Now, this is something to be aware of, although that may be very true that your daughter is one of your soulmates. Are there any conditions or pressures that you are putting on her to meet you in a certain way because of how you feel? And there might not be, but it's really important to look at that. Now, I feel like my mom's one of my soulmates also, so I get it. Definitely. We just are like two peas in a pod. But that doesn't mean that because we're soulmates and there's so much love between us, it doesn't mean that there aren't unconscious expectations, conditions, or other energies put into the relationship that may not serve us in the highest. Yes? Hmm. Great. I'm finally caught up. All right. So how you doing, my loves? Is this waking some things up in you? Hi, Tev. Welcome. Hi, Neil. Are you becoming aware? Hi, Davy. Thinking, becoming aware of some things in yourself. Right, Mel? Thought provoking. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mm. Okay, so we're going to read a little more from this chapter on relationships for a little more reflection. Do you feel me? Like when I was so pumped before we started reading, can you feel why this is such an important thing to reflect on? From what place inside of us are we moving into a relationship? Are we creating more contraction? Are we creating freedom? What are we creating in the relationship from where we are? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Davey's sharing, I'm a little raw after all that because the end of a different year, because the end of a different year relationship is so fresh, barely 3 months single. Yeah. Love you. Love you. Love you. Hmm. Yeah, and again, this is a place for us to be compassionate with ourselves. Relationships are maybe the most difficult thing that we experience. The greatest growth, the greatest expansion. Oh, wow, moving into a new place. Oh, and maybe from that. Hmm. May it be a beautiful new beginning, my love, with your intention, yes? How do you wish this new era of your life to be? You can journal on this. How do you wish this new era of your life to be? What what energies are you calling in for yourself? What are you choosing to cultivate in your relationship with your beloved self? How do you wish to be different with yourself in this new era? How do you wish to be more kind, more loving, more curious with yourself? And what do you wish to call in? What kinds of reflections do you wish to see in your reality? And even if some of us aren't going through transitions, we can still ask ourselves these questions. Tomorrow could be the beginning of a new era, right? Okay, find a comfortable position. We're going to read just a bit more, as much as my voice can handle today. You're welcome to have the eyes opened or closed. Open your mind, open your heart. And again, this is a reading from Saima's book, Petals of Grace, Essential Teachings for Self-Mastery. A relationship is a mirror of yourself. First, a relationship is a mirror for yourself. Secondly, it helps you grow because in a relationship, you are to make decisions. You are to experience. You are to say yes, and you are to say no. How many of you do not dare to say no in your relationship? And how can you say yes if you do not know how to say no? The yes and the no are to be balanced. I have noticed that as soon as you move into a relationship, you think of the timing of the relationship, of the long term. You want to hold on to your relationship to make it long term. What is this? What is the fear behind this? If you are in a relationship freely, then you will receive a great deal. When you give, for example, without even knowing that you are giving, the relationship is fulfilling. When you are in a relationship and do not expect the other person to change, then you are growing. Remember that in a true relationship, there is no must, should, or obligation. I'll repeat that. Remember that in a true relationship, there is no must, should, or obligation. Commit yourself to your higher self in your relationship without expecting the other person to commit himself, herself, or them to you. I'm going to read that again. Commit yourself to your higher self in your relationship without expecting the other person to commit themselves to you. A relationship is an opportunity. It takes you into relation to relate to the creation itself. Your soul has taken you there. And you have attracted this mirror. This person that you attract to you is your own mirror. So if someday you feel hate, disgust, or jealousy and say to yourself, I wish I had never been in this relationship, you are facing yourself. If you choose, however, to move into a relationship where there is only glory, only victory, only oneness, only unity, only divinity, then the sharing will be so magnificent and powerful that the breath you both breathe will merge with the whole universe. I am convinced of this. Experience it joyously. When in this relationship, take time to know if you are loving you in the relationship or if you are forgetting you. Forgetting yourself is quite a big mistake. Love you in the relationship, and you won't constantly go outside of yourself and love only the other. When you forget yourself, how do you think the relationship is going to enrich itself? And there is the image of yourself that you are bringing forth in the relationship, the part of yourself that you are bringing forth. This is a very important point, examining your self-image. It is also important to question your purpose in life, whether you are growing and whether you are aware. You may find you are loving, but ask yourself if you are loving the higher self in the other person or loving the body. Ask yourself if you are in fact loving, if you are inviting, or are you confusing the body and the self? Where there is confusion, reflect on what kind of confusion this relationship is activating in you. Still, understand that you are to be in a relationship with your higher self first, taking care of the divinity in you in this relationship. Be aware of what you are practicing and see if you are using your relationship to glorify inner love with the self, with self-knowledge. Ask yourself if you are praising you, glorifying you as the higher self. Consider whether or not you are choosing this opportunity to be humble. And if you are choosing this opportunity to better know who you are through the relationship. For example, question whether you are choosing this opportunity to allow your fears to come up and if you are facing those fears. If you are choosing your relationship to experience yourself naked, what are you choosing? And in this relationship, ask yourself if you are demonstrating your higher self. When you are sincere, when you are true with yourself, whatever you are practicing in your relationship, meaning you and your partner, will become only oneness. You and your partner will then be one. Again, if you long for a relationship, it is because you have forgotten yourself. You have forgotten your higher self. You have lost yourself and you're looking for you through somebody else. I love this. This is just the richness. I'm going to read that one more time. You have lost yourself when you're longing for a relationship. You have lost yourself and you are looking for you through somebody else. Just feel that. How precious is that? You've lost yourself. You don't even realize it. You don't know how to get home to yourself. And so you go around looking for you, looking for the beloved in someone else. I suggest that you who are choosing to move into relationship, ask yourself what this partner is going to fill inside you. I use that word on purpose because many of you feel there is something missing inside you and you wish to fill that missing piece. Last paragraph. So the questions arising are, whom do I truly love? Do I know what love is? It is important to know if there is truth in your heart in this relationship. And if there is, where is the truth of it? Ask yourself if you are falling into a pit, falling in love, in passion, and if there is a positive experience. The words that I'm using, whether right or wrong, positive or negative, are just to give you an idea of the teaching for you to understand. Know that there is no right or wrong. So there's more to the chapter, but we'll pause there for today. Again, the book is called Petals of Grace. And Shirley is asking, haven't you lost yourself if you become one with a partner? Well, I think that's a much deeper topic that can be very beautiful and very long and very rich. And I think, like Ma shared in that last sentence, there's no right or wrong way. I feel that way about this life experience. We have so many wonderful guidebooks, religious teachings, spiritual teachings, awakened masters. This is a choose your own adventure story. Yes, this life experience. We have all of these roadmaps and tools to guide us, but it's ultimately your choice, what you think, what you believe, what you feel, what you choose. And what I would say is, Shirley, again, Shirley's question is, haven't you lost yourself if you become one with a partner? I imagine that to become one with a partner, there is a merging of source energy, meaning we are all one. We are one source energy, we are one light, and we forget. So I imagine that this merging, this unity, this oneness in the partnership is that of this source energy being enlivened as the one life energy. It doesn't mean that the personalities become one. It doesn't mean that you become lost in your partner's needs and wants. It is this unity consciousness. We look at that, although, most people, when they, at least in the West, when they hear the word Tantra, they think of, sexual poses and things like this. But Tantra is a profound lineage of, in my very limited understanding, even though I come from some traditions of Tantra, that it is about awakening through the senses rather than withdrawing from all of the senses to experience unity consciousness, engaging so fully in the senses that we're able to awaken to our oneness. And This is sometimes how we hear about the physical intimacy in Tantra explained, that through certain techniques of breathing and being with another human body, that there can be this unity consciousness experience achieved. And it doesn't only have to happen with another person or, through these acts, but it just made me think of that because we're talking about different ways to experience this oneness with a romantic partner. And it doesn't have to be through physical intimacy even, it can just be through presence. And I see your response here. Ah, great. Okay, Diane, let's see. I missed a couple comments here. Um, I love that, Angie. Great offering for a Davy there. Yeah, choose your own adventure. Okay, Diane, what did you share, my love? My phone was overheating, but I wanted to share. On my journey, I didn't understand how I ended up with a particular person. After my last relationship, I learned that through that person not being there for me, I in turn learned to be there for myself. And as they say, you're the one you're looking for. It has been 2 years, and when I felt sad, it was a signal for me to go within. I no longer seek the one and have learned to love myself first. Oh, my love. That's just so beautiful. And what a humbling experience, right? We must move into such a humbleness of the heart and the mind to be able to see that. Wow, this soul that I've been blaming, that I've been judging, that I've been thinking was bad or not good or doing me wrong, they were giving me an opportunity to come home to myself. That's what we speak about in The Little Soul of the Sun, right? That story. And for anyone who hasn't heard, a new track of mine was released just a couple days ago called Sacred Soul Journey. And I just recount that story briefly about the little soul in the sun, which is about how, as souls, we have soul contracts so that we can have experiences. And although when we're having the human experience, we judge and we blame and we feel like we've been done wrong, what if every person in our path, especially those who have hurt us the most, what if, I'm not saying so, but what if those beings, those souls, those people are actually there to serve us. Like Diane shared, this profound service to guide her back home to herself. I know a lot of us get so stuck in our pain, it's difficult to even consider that. So I'm not here to force that on you, but it's a pretty powerful thing to consider. And if you haven't heard my new talk, I invite you to listen. It's maybe only 15 minutes long or something. Sacred Soul's Journey. Camilla Sherm, I feel happy and comfortable on my own now after healing codependency, but sometimes I wonder if with a relationship I could be even happier. After 7 years on my own, I find it challenging now to be with another. I'd love some of your insights to this. Yes, love. That's definitely a longer conversation also, and you're more than welcome to reach out to me privately. I think a couple just brief pointers because we are going to close in just a moment. One, when we've spent a lot of time by ourselves, it is an opportunity to learn to be flexible again. Yes. I think it's fantastic to know what we want and need and to have boundaries that support our health. And it's really valuable. Sorry, I've got great noise canceling software, but I've got this cacophony of dogs barking through my open window right here. Normally I pretend like it's not happening, but I'm not at my game today. Um, Flexibility. There's this beautiful quote, I think by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, possibly, and it says, "Flexibility is the key to immortality." So it's really valuable to uh, seeing how we can be flexible. You might even practice if you spend time with a friend or with a family member or coworkers. How can you be a little more flexible? Maybe you're the one who's always like, this is what I want. I'm not going to budge. Or like, I know how to take care of myself. Why would I budge? Sometimes it's not about not taking care of yourself or budging. It's just about learning to flow with life a little more. And if Tevi is still on here, he knows this is one of my big journeys in this life is learning to just let go and be a little more flexible because so much can blossom out of flexibility. So that's one thing to just consider. How can I practice being more flexible? And I want to read the other part because it made me think of something else. And I also think that relationships bring things out in us, yes? So they can add beauty to our lives. They can add more joy to our lives. Maybe your kind of natural way of being is you get very curious with yourself as you're always diving into your spiritual practice or something like this, right? You're always diving into work. And if you were in a relationship with someone who brought out the little child in you or the joy in you, it would create a shift. So I think it's really valuable to consider all of these teachings that Ma is sharing with us today. From what place within me am I wanting a relationship? If I feel like a relationship will make me happier, then maybe there's still some reflecting to do here so that I'm not, actually coming from a place of I want to be happier and the relationship is going to give it to me because that, as we know, is a recipe for disaster. But to recognize, okay, I love myself. I love the relationship I've cultivated with myself. And I'd love to be around someone who helps me bring out more joy, or I'd love to be around someone who is creative in ways that I don't think about. Or I'd love to spend time with someone who is really passionate about exercise so I can have that inspiration in my life, right? There's a difference between like, I'm not happy and I want someone to make me happy. And I think that a relationship could bring out more joy in me. And that would be a nice thing to cultivate. Different energy, right? So hopefully that's helpful, love. Okay, coming back. Last couple comments and then we'll start to come to a close. Oh, love you, Davy. Enjoy your dancing. Enjoy, enjoy. Shirley's sharing context. I had one daughter that told me I gave myself away, and the other daughters say, you and dad were no longer individuals. Ah, got it. Thank you. You were sharing about the oneness question there. Got it. Yeah, a lot of good opportunity to reflect. Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you for your donations. Thank you. Your donations support me so that I can maybe take the next day to rest as I might need to if this whatever this physical thing is gets any worse. It's not though. I'm getting better. I am healthier and more vital in every moment. Hi Kay, welcome. Thanks for joining us. We're just about to close. We've actually been here for over an hour. Ah, wonderful. Glad Camilla. I'm glad it helped. Is it Camila? Is there a sharp Camila or Illa? All right, beloveds. Hi, Jane. Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks for spending time with me today, time in our beautiful community. Thank you for all of your sharing. And thank you, Anami. All right. So our next time together is, well, it's currently scheduled for Friday at 3 p.m. for our Vinyasa Yoga Asana, our yoga practice, physical yoga practice. If I do start to feel worse, I'll make a post in the group letting you all know that I'm going to cancel the session before I cancel it, just so you have some heads up. Hey Mo. Oh, so glad that you were here with us, love. So yeah, we'll be together again Friday, inshallah, and then we'll be together again next Wednesday as we continue this kind of community experience together. And, they'll change each time. Sometimes we'll meditate more together. Sometimes we'll have some different experiences like journaling or maybe movement, things like that. So, a lot of opportunities that this satsang space offers us. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Lots of food for thought, yes? Mm. Thank you, my love. Thank you, Jane. Thank you all so much. Okay. Blessings to all. In the grace of love, in the grace of kindness, and in the grace of this journey of returning home to ourselves. What a gift. all of it? What if every single moment of your life is truly a gift?